Helloodiedoodie-Helicopter there, my name is JampottBong, and welcome back to another episode of Unorthoblocks Season 3. This is episode 99, and it is going to be the penultimate episode of Season 3. The next will be a rather monumentous 100, and it's going to be the finale, and let's just say Jammy's cooking. And it's quite something so far. But for the penultimate episode, it feels kind of important to show that I finished my base off camera. I do apologise for always building off camera. I know it's better off in these sorts of videos to do time lapses and build montages and stuff. And I've tried things like that in the past, but I find it's just not really my style much. I've learned I can build much better when there aren't cameras on me. It's a lot more relaxed. It feels a lot easier. And so due to that, a JampottBong build will sort of just appear in the background in the next episode. So I thought I'd make up for the lack of recorded progress by doing a very in-depth tour of my entire base, the lovely Jammingham. I am in creative mode because I am filming this on the world download for Unorthoblocks. Season is over, so here I am standing on the downloaded remnants with a horse training guide. My player data got zapped into the Shadow Realm, and we will just quickly mention the fact that the Unorthoblocks Season 3 world in single player is essentially a ticking time bomb. You'd need a NASA supercomputer to look in the direction of spawn. But hopefully today is going to be a nice relaxed build tour regardless of my frames being countable on one hand. And if you look at my hand, I only have one finger, and that one finger is the hand. So yeah, because last time I properly showed off my build in an episode, none of this was here. That wasn't there. That wasn't there. I was probably there. So without further ado, let's go. Though quickly I do want to mention that when I was doing a lot of tidying on one of the final days of the season, I did realise there was this very large empty space between my Cocoa Bean Embassy from last episode and my base, and I wasn't quite sure what to do with it, so I turned to what's kind of become the clean up and make pretty end of season motto on the server. If in doubt, flower fields. I can't stress this enough, flower fields are the prettiest cheat code to easily filling a large flat area in Minecraft. All you need is a load of flowers. Just spam them everywhere in whatever way you want, and it looks nice, especially from a distance. So here we go. I was able to fill this very large area between two parts of my base very quickly with nothing but a little bit of flower power. I also spammed trees here, but that's not part of my base, so it's irrelevant. Now, Jammingham was very much designed to be seen on foot, so good thing my Elytra got zapped into the Shadow Realm. And as we approach, here we are, we get these lovely sightlines, this lovely view of the town coming into view, the seaside area, which we'll get to later. One thing I've been all about in this build is sightlines. If I can create a view that I want to screenshot every time I see it, then I have succeeded. Beep, 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 beep. Screenshots! You know, it's got to look like a painting plus the added giant goose. And as we're coming over the bridge and we see the Welcome to Jammingham sign, I think it achieves that quite nicely. It's just such a nice view. I will forever love this sign with the coat of arms, a goose, the lion, the bricks, the grass block, the author block because it's not upside down. Welcome to Jammingham. Please honk carefully. Band Iondis. She honked uncarefully, and someone stuck a little sticker of the Unorthoblocks flag on here. We don't have a flag, but apparently we do now. In my base, I want to be as accurate as possible, so I did actually download the UK road sign font. Because those in the UK will know there are lots of towns and villages where there will be a sign like this on the main road where you enter it, usually with a coat of arms, usually with a funky little message, often in this funny bobbly shape, and Iondis is always banned. Because yeah, back to the accuracy, my base is based on just sort of your quintessential classic British seaside town, specifically Welsh, because this might be crazy, but I'm Welsh. But honestly, with the fact we've got a pub, a church, a chish and fib shop, and a giant goose breaking every driving law, this could honestly be a village anywhere in the UK. Except it's not in the UK, it's in Minecraft. We're in a simulation. Yippee. The name Jammingham is certainly not a Welsh town name. Distinct lack of L's, Y's, W's and D's. I could not call it Jammingham. It just felt like a perfect name, you know? Jammingham. Because here we love jamming our ham. Why did that sound weird? If we come down this little step off of the road, this winding path will take us to the one build here that wasn't built by me. Lovely people who have seen episode 89 and 91, or any of Shotgun's latest videos, will know that I did a base swap with said Sergeant Shotgun. I built in his base for a week, he built in my base for about a week. I say a week, we both got busy and we kind of did all our building in one day. But he built this as his little contribution to Jammingham. It is a radio station. He hadn't built the radio tower yet. This was me a few days ago. This building was him, and I think it's really nice. I gave him some barrels full of materials as a challenge to try and use those, and he managed to incorporate them all really well. He said I could add a jam touch, I didn't want to change it too much because it was fine as it is, but I did bring in this outdoor area and of course the needed radio station for this to be a radio station. So that was a fun little thing to put together. Coming off the Jidge now, the Jam Bridge, on our left we will see the Spawn Valley. This hasn't appeared in my content yet, but if you follow Unorthoblocks you may know that yesterday, as I'm recording this, we finished our guest week. To celebrate the end of the season, we invited a lot of close friends, content creators from fellow servers, and just good supporters of our weirdness to come and tour the server, hang out and play minigames. And among that group of lovely people was the Channel 64 SMP. Sometimes SMPs make friends with other SMPs and it's really wholesome. So while we were both on the same server, we wanted to do something together. And due to a running joke from previous Discord VCs, we put together a family reunion where a load of us got together in the basement of this pub I built and just had a good time and caused some general chaos. I will have a video on this soon. In the meantime, I will link Arrington's stream VOD from this because it was a lot of fun. So yep, for the family reunion, I built this classic country pub here, known as the Spawn Valley. This is both a reference to our spawn area being known as Spawn Valley, and the name of one of the voice chat rooms in the Unorthoblocks fan Discord, link in the description, being known as Spawn Valley, because we've hung out with the folks at Channel 64 in there a few times, so it felt appropriate to name the pub after that. Regardless of that though, I think I did a nice job with this build. I wanted it to feel very cozy and inviting, so I tried out this effect with honey behind the windows, and then of course light behind the honey. I think it really worked out. It's got a feel of when you walk past an old building late at night, you know, it looks really cozy inside with that very specific warm yellow light, and I think that was the closest I managed to get in Minecraft, and I think I did a good job. I will pat myself on the back for this one. It's an emote I haven't made yet. It's got a back too, but we don't worry about that. You have 1 second to guess how I put grass on terracotta. Go! It's a custom model. What do you mean 1 second wasn't long enough? Table. Snowman. We hunted the snowman and put his head here. You know, just Unorthoblocks things. This is a map that I made for when we did our guest week, which shows where we all are. We are here! Oh, the family reunion room is not in this version of the world download because it was built during guest week, but you know what, I guess that saves spoilers for when I make an episode out of a family reunion. This is the car park. Sorry, I said this was going to be an in-depth tour. There's some trees which I made from just spamming, bone mealing, normal vanilla Minecraft trees, and I edited them by spamming leaves over them. So a lot of spam created something that looks half decent. Got some outdoor seating here. Then here is the Jiver, the Jam River. The River Jiver starts here, heads all the way down here, trickle trickle, goes under the bridge, round the Jorta Mill, which we'll look at in a sec, and out into the Unorthian Sea, which didn't have a name until 5 seconds ago. We must be walking at 20 blocks per hour, so I'll just get going. Nah, I'm bored already. Who listens to numbers? That is a joke. Please follow driving laws. Ah, a car! Here's a Jammingham car. His name is Brumjamin. I often forget he has a name, but he is. Sorry to break the immersion, but our boy's just a zombie in a minecart with a custom model car on his head. Anyway, on our whatever side this is, we have one of the residential houses. Funny thing is, there's only like 2 or 3 residential houses here. So if you want to actually live in Jammingham, ooh, that's rough, buddy. Ah, a car! Some viewers may recognise this. This is the... I can't actually get in here without an elytra, I don't think. Oh, no, I can. This is the Shady Garage, both where I sent Cuzza on the 88 of you in episode 88, and I gave people spoogle-bonking, whistle-to-lopping, honky-tron-bonky, zonton-zoops in episode 65. This doesn't have an interior, but it doesn't need it, because the Shady Garage is a whole history piece in itself. In the garden, we have a bat head and some Welsh flags, because it's not like I've mentioned it already or anything, but... Welsh person tries not to mention their Welsh every 5 seconds. Challenge impossible. Failed already. We ignore the llama. These are my potholes. Now, I quickly learned that building with cauldrons was a little problem because Minecraft has weather. So they all filled up, but honestly, puddles in my little British town here is incredibly accurate, so I'm not going to bother to remove the water. I just witnessed roadkill firsthand and... Okay, he survived, that's nice. This was actually the first proper building I built in my base, because it was originally just Waystone Henge over there. This is the little Jottage Jam Cottage, the Teagulead Clodion post box, which doesn't post. Yay. Ah, car! Ugh, never cleaned this up. Bye. So coming down here on the main road now, this slope in the road connects up to Rat Dog's base, which is just over there. He's my neighbour. There actually ended up being quite good connected roads by the end of the season. Yeah, you can go up here, then round there, then to my base, and through there to spawn, round the pig race track, up to the cathedral, round the ridge, across Islands' bridge, to the Zen garden, go to Sunbears, you can go wee I like roads. Wheelie bins. Oh yeah, I should probably mention the Jumper Van Park. Of course, I've shown this off in an episode in great detail before, but this This is the Great Detail episode to end all Great Detail episodes. JampottBong Park. It's like Campervan Park, but JampottBong Park. It exists and is cool. And there we have camper vans. They're like camper vans, but they're made by me. That's the only difference. Then the car is actually the same car as is moving around my base, but this one can't move. Unfortunately. Or fortunately, take your pick. They don't have interiors, and nor does a gift shop, but that's fine. Who goes inside stuff? We got Dak here smoking a salmon head. A submubbin hubhead cooler here, and a beach ball. This is the beach, the jam beach, where swimming is very much not advised. So, today we're going to do some swimming. Yay! I feel so not advised right now. Let's put this back. Public footpath. It's so public. Oh, the Statue of Zero. That's a whole other thing. Then if we follow along the... What's the name of this road? Aha, the UB303. Coming along here is the Goose House. And by Goose House, I mean, it started off as a goose house some time ago. And then episode 80 happened, you know, the llamas and bricks episode, and now it's overrun with llamas and bricks. However, there are 2 geese. Scratch at, I'm just seeing 1. Okay, I think the grey lag may have escaped. Whoops. But our boy Plonky, our lovely goosey boy here, has not escaped, even though he has escaped countless times. And if we just quickly make all llamas invisible. Oh, that looks funny, actually. We can get a better look at this build, and I do love it, despite it being overrun with llamas. Just another nice cottage, you know, with a waystone chimney, and out back, the pond surrounded by the garden. It's just meant to be a goose paradise, you know. It's a llama paradise now, though. We have a squirrel. We have a squirrel here. He's actually alarmingly big. Oh, he's my height. Okay, that was something I overlooked when I made this custom model. Terrifyingly large squirrel. Right there. The custom model road sign was something I made quite early on in building Jammingham. It meant to look like a UK motorway or a road sign, but with an unorthoblocks spin on it. And by that I mean I made it purple. Yay. This is just a patch of scrubland, you know. It's not really being cared for, and it's got a bit wild. It was a good excuse just to bone mill something I didn't really have the time to properly slap a build on top of. This here is a tree. No shouty geese, Sherlock. And this is the most complicated fence design ever. Armor stands made small with granite mini blocks inside of buttons with trapdoors on top. It took way too long to make this fence, and was it worth it? Possibly not, but I think it looks quite cool. This is, honestly the most inspiring location in the entirety of Jammingham. A rubbish heap. Just a pile of rubbish down here by the shore. With a boat and a crafting table. I just feel great every time I come down here, you know. Truly a place of all time. This is a bridge that goes nowhere. Fun fact, there was originally going to be a build over this way known as Chaos Park, which was a collab between myself and a few others. Never happened, you know, plans change. But I will quickly share the build that was planned for it on screen now. You know what, go on then. Yeah, but at one point that was going to be on the server, that absolute monstrosity. Yeah. There's an alternative timeline where that was my biggest build of Season 3. Now it's time to have a look at the centerpiece of the entirety of Jammingham. It's Stonehenge. Now, it doesn't take a genius to work out what I'm parodying here. The Great Pyramids of Giza! No, Stonehenge, obviously. Except it's Stonehenge, it's like Stonehenge, but a little bit cooler. These aren't real Waystones. We removed a Waystones mod and replaced them with kind of pumpkins. But originally, in episode 21, I ended up becoming a bit of a waystone collector after accidentally ending up with a load of them. So I thought it would just be funny to use all the waystones I had at the time to build Stonehenge here. Here it is. Yeah, Roland, this rat, did get married to a waystone at one point of the season. They had a child, you know, normal unorthoblocks things. Yeah, it works nicely as a centerpiece for my base though. Jammingham is kind of a bit of a tourist trap. This is a gift shop because everyone knows the gift shop is the best part. There's been vandalism, but of course there has. You can get fridge magnets, delicious postcards, waystone plushies, and replica waystones. And Chonkers Honkers, our boy, is here manning the shop, and also here. He can just move faster than my cursor, see? There's only one. Yeah, in this field is the lion you asked for. This field is the one in which I have a map of other grass placements in case anything goes wrong. Listen, okay, I like grass. Do I touch it enough? Probably not, but I like it. Here's the crow. Nothing bad happened to him in guest week in any content you will see soon. Foreshadowing. And oh yeah, here's the entrance to Stonehenge. It's in safe hands with a Jampottable trust. Welcome to Stonehenge, built 2023. I know, right? It's so ancient. Do not touch the stones, looking at you. Teach would never touch any waystones, right? There's Floops a Kiwi sitting on a bench. There's a car. You know what? While the car's here, I should probably point out that it's now rideable. Yeah, we can now drive cars in vanilla Minecraft. If I can catch it in time. I can just right click and now I'm in the car. So I did a little bit of magic during guest week that I was able to replicate on this download that allowed me to drive it, and actually 2 people can get in it at once, so I'm sure during my guest week episode, when that drops, you will be able to see some of us having a good time with the car. Boom, boom, I'm in my Jam's car. It's so pointless because it just goes in circles, but it's fun. Unorthoblocks is a vanilla Minecraft server. To be fair, this was done entirely in vanilla. I'll spill the magic though. The way I did this was, I modified the original zombie, of course, to have an armor stand on his head, made small using the armor stand book. Then there's an invisible camel on top of that armor stand, allowing 2 people to be able to right click the car to get into it. So now we can go Jammingham drifting, and it's fun. If you hear camel sounds, that's just the exhaust of the engine or the squeak of the tyres or some various car noise. Anyway, back on track. Next up is the Jawtermill, the jam watermill. I built this mostly on a stream, and it turned out really nice. And I'm willing to talk about the parts I'm not proud of here, because this actual watermill part, not only is it not in the water due to a little miscalculation, but it just looks so bad. Nothing looks connected. It doesn't look... I wish I'd had time to fix this, because it's a bit rubbish, innit? From a distance, though, it doesn't look too bad, just another part of the base. But when you get close, you're a bit like, or at least I was like, The Jammingham Mill of Flour and Grains, 1763. I'll have a good old days. The bus stop here, full of all the times I'm not awake for. European Minecraft SMP content creator sleep schedule go. Now, this is one of the rare JampottBong builds that actually has an interior. I mean, firstly, lawnmower and signs. I'm assuming this was shotgun. Anyway, coming inside, nothing is functional, but I wanted to very much tell stories with how I did this interior. So the watermill is powering the whole thing, of course, going along here, and in turn, turning this big grinder, which is grinding the wheat into flour and sending it along in this minecart wire that Iondas heads in here. It's getting baked into bread inside of these ovens. Well, sand is, apparently. There's whatever this is for. Then the containers where the finished bread is put to be shipped out to people who want bread. And up here is just a viewing platform where you can see the top of the watermill, watering and milling, and the goose flower pot I never found, and shelves with bread on them. And the toilet, and a room that does nothing, and a balcony, and a car. So now when we're done with the Jawtermill, we kind of get closer into the main town area of the build. We start to see the seaside elements, such as this boathouse here, the Jote House. Look, okay, I started off strong with the naming scheme with Jammingham and such, and by the end it just became portmanteaus. Oh, I never did anything with this apart from some jammer heads. Okay. Now, the boathouse is, shock horror, a house for boats. And this is a rare build in Jammingham, but wasn't designed in creative mode first. This was built on the fly, and for a build on the fly, it looks alright. I think I cooked with this diamond ore in the floor. I was rich once. Hard hat. It's a sewer hard hat repurposed, so it's a bit dirty. We got Roland. He gets around fast, doesn't he? Another life ring and a hose pipe. And then this is a boat that's come from the boathouse. There's a joke here, and to make it land, we will first need to fly up to the top of my base to get to the Helloodiedoodie-Helicopter. Aha, so Shotgun's build actually wasn't the only build in Jammingham that I didn't design. This is the Helloodiedoodie-Helicopter, and it was built in the Fever Dream SMP by the wonderful Liv Awesome from the Channel 64 SMP as a prank present, I guess, being driven by a crow. And it's just such a cute and funny and well done build. So I asked Liv if I could build it on Unorthoblocks above Jammingham, and she said yes, so here it is. The Helloodiedoodie-Helicopter in all its glory. 10 out of 10 copter. Would copter again. So I thought to myself, if I've got a Helloodiedoodie-Helicopter, I need a Toodlepip ship, so I present to you the Toodlepip ship. I speedran this on the last day, and it's a bit small, and it's not my proudest work, but for the sake of a joke, I did okay. So I guess this is a good segue into the seaside town of Jammingham. And oh my goodness, I talked about views earlier, and this view is one to die for. 3,143 times. Just look at this. I'm so happy with this. And this was all built off camera. Again, I really just wanted to lean into the accuracy, feel, and vibe of a British seaside town. It's quite a personal base in those regards at this point, because it's very much based on places I've been in real life many times, without unorthodoxing myself. So let's break down this lovely area piece by piece. Starting here is Waystones R Us, and it's a waystone shop. Now, most of these buildings are shops, even though they don't actually sell anything. They're more shops for decoration, because if you took one of these, I'd probably want it back. But here's the gang. Live, laugh, stone. Funky sign. Only 64 diamonds, even though they're not purchasable. Inside this red phone box here is actually my nether portal, even though I never used this. I built this nether portal and then never used it because I just don't use the nether because my base is right next to spawn. At the risk of setting my base on fire with lag, I used a load of invisible item frames to create some litter on the ground, and then seagull feathers from those guys, because there would be seagull feathers absolutely everywhere. I don't know why there's litter here because there's a bin right there. I guess the residents of Jammingham aren't the sharpest sheds in the tools. It's me, hi, I'm the residents. Anyway, here's Pat's takeout. I've shown this off in an episode before, but I'll do it again. So Pat Stoker, our favourite NPC, friend, who hosted all the stat poker games, finally retired and opened a takeout shop here, where he sells, blistering melon slices, apparently. Hey, Jam, how are you? I'm fantastic, thank you for asking, Pat. I did steal the carpets on top of bamboo signs from Hermitcraft, sorry. This is a puppet show with some Falms. Our good friend on the server, Pale of Pears, has 10 Minecraft accounts. I think it's 10. One of them is Falm, who has an Elmo skin and is an all-powerful being I'm a little bit scared of. But I ended up with 64 of his heads somehow, so I wanted to use a couple to create this little puppet show here. And it's just armor stands on bubble columns, but it's a cute addition to add some life and movement to the build. I created animated seagull models, which are just a reskin of the crow model we've already seen, and slapped them everywhere. Gave them red eyes because I've never had any bad experiences with vicious seagulls before, no. Look, okay, a lot of personal trauma went into the creation of this custom model. It just adds to the realism and human touch, you know? Seagull touch. But what is it the seagulls have got here? It's Chish and Fips! Yep. Here in Jammingham, on the Unorthoblocks, we don't have fish and chips, we have Chish and Fips. They're the same thing. Open 11 PM to 4 AM. So technically I shouldn't be here right now because it's 6:45 PM. But we're going in anyway. Hi, fish mascot. Oh no! It's you. You! We've had a seagull problem again. Get out of here. Staff and fish only. Hello-dee-dee-dee-doo there. Yes, that's Chish and Fibs. Oh, this is embarrassing. So, this is a curious goose, and it was going to be a florist, but it became my storage. And this is my idea of storage. This is how I live. Next season, I'm going to try and be a little bit more organised. Fingers crossed I can pull that off. Oh, and this here is the smallest house in Unorthoblocks. It's so small. You know what, Tiny Jam could probably live here, but haven't seen him for a while. At the risk of going into too much detail at this point, bench, lampposts. Okay, the lampposts are fun though because I hung this jam-themed bunting between them in the jam striped colours. This is an ice cream stand, and you know, it could have been easy enough for me to make custom model ice cream and add it to the server. So I thought it would be funny if it literally just sold ice and magma cream. So technically, you know, it is ice cream, and it's run by a rabbit. There's a lot of lore surrounding this rabbit, and none of it has ever been on camera somehow. But rabbit! Seagull. Fun fact, originally I was going to use the audio player mod we have on the server to add seagull noises when you're in my base, but I figured that would become annoying quite quickly, especially since I can already hear seagull noises outside of my real life window most of the time. I live in a good place for the gulls, therefore I felt like I didn't need to go even more insane in my own home. This building is to let. It's for sale, you can buy it, even though you can't fit in it pretty much. I did a bit of storytelling here with the to let, and then I stuck a little eye, like someone's graffitied an eye to make it say toilet because people are so funny. Aha, and here is Waitrose. So for context, ever since my last build-focused episode, Peeporp has been asking me to build a Waitrose in my base. Waitrose is a slightly expensive supermarket chain in the UK, and I thought that would be funny, so of course I simply had to build a Waitrose. So I made it Waitrose. Here it is. In all its glory. Oh, it's beautiful. Selling Waitroses, of course. Not much room inside, but Waitroses. And when Peeporp visited for guest day, I did actually get a chance to show them Waitrose.
Yeah, that's...
Welcome to Waitrose. Now, it's...
a cupcake stand? What is this?
It's not stocks.
Ice cream.
That's okay. This feels very nostalgic for me. What do you mean these wither roses are 8 diamonds each?
I
know they're organically sourced, but good grief.
You're too poor.
I'm just shy I can get them for you at 1 diamond each.
Thank you. I've
Yes,
been begging.
they're all
I've been nagging Jam for probably since Fever Dream.
Yeah,
I've been nagging you to put a Waitrose in your town.
And I did it. I hope you're happy. So yeah, fun story behind this one. Aha! And here is one of 2 pubs in Jammingham. This is The Bong, and it's a seafront pub. But I did some wacky stuff with signs and banners. In terms of technique, I'm very happy with this one. In terms of the lore, it's just pub, you know. The Bong, and I made this custom sign. with a bell, probably going bong. It's not got an interior, sorry, but it's got an exterior, that's good. See? Fletching tables do have a use. They're a block. And then I didn't know what to do with this wall, so I put a big Unorthoblock mural here, which I'm actually really happy with. And then the bong segues quite nicely in to this pier here, which ends with the lighthouse for JampottBong Lighthouse and a seagull that's flying. Now, fun fact, I really love lighthouses, so of course I had to incorporate one into the seaside town. And it looks like me! Often there will be red and white stripes, sometimes maybe even blue in a lighthouse, so it just made sense to have it be the jam stripes, because it's probably plausible in an actual lighthouse. All in all, it's one of the smaller builds in my base, but I just love it. It just turned out so good. Looks so nice from a good distance too. I may have gone a bit overboard with the texturing on the floor. Challenge, find one grey coloured block I didn't use. Honestly though, I quite like it. Now it's meant to look a bit rough and scrubby with all these fishing crates and just various barrels of things. There's not things in them, but we imagine there's things in them, okay? And then these cranes, where boats coming into this dock can attach some heavy loads to be pulled up onto here. One of my few regrets about this build is not having time to build some boats. I would have loved to put some actual fishing boats here to better tell the story of what's going on the pier. But it still looks fine as it is. We had the Toodlepip ship. If I had had time to design a boat, which is not my strong suit, I would have put a big one here, you know, filling the area nicely. This fishing net is cool though, with the iron bars. Here then goes round the back of the bong, get to an outdoor seating area. Bong. There is the jam church here, but before we show this off, I'm going to come down here and show the back of the buildings we just saw. This is the back of Waitrose RS. There's an ATM thingy, and the post box, and a bench. I'm really happy with the back of this building specifically, not only with the texturing, but also, how did I make smithing tables look so good here? I question myself sometimes. Kumpai. There's a bathtub that's been dumped out here. Just a thing you'll see sometimes. Sometimes there's a fridge too. Then there's a back alley area here with some Unorthoblocks graffiti and a wheelie bin, which also connects to my storage. So that's fun. Oh, and then here is one of my absolute favourite sightlines. Yep, Grandad's talking about his sightlines again, but look at this. The trees on one side, the speed limit sign and the church just coming into view from behind those trees and those houses. Zebra crossing, it's so good. I like this view because it really gives the immersion. It goes on for much longer than it does. I think it's the trees on the left side. It's not as obvious. There's not really anything behind there. Sorry to bore you all. Moving on. Another post box. Yeah, I shouldn't have made custom model ones before I realised I could make banner ones, but I do like the custom model ones. But what I think may be the final build in my base. This is the church, the jam church. And honestly, I'm gonna say I cooked with this. I know I've said that a few times about many things, but this build. So happy with it. I went absolutely wild on the window designs. Also, I just want to say, people are sleeping on the side texture of smokers. It's essentially a stone block with a wooden trim, and it's amazing, just saying. Of course, I had to plaster this with crows. I couldn't not. Nothing goes together like a graveyard and some crows. And more bong. There's so much bong here. I can see how this pub got its name, to be honest. So, you know this super relatable building situation where you go so crazy on the window designs and they therefore stick in so far that you could not build an interior without it looking really whack? Yeah. This one might have actually had a rare JampottBong interior, but windows stretched in so far that I could not. Which is kind of funny, to be honest. I don't regret it though, because these windows, yes. Coming into the churchyard, I did use some waystones as gravestones, because of course, as well as using walls as smaller ones. So many crows, and a nice tree where I used some diorite. R.I.P. Jam's final brain cell. He didn't need it. I didn't, to be fair. The videos are more fun if I don't have brain cells. R.I.P. the fourth wall. That's been long dead. I don't know if it ever was alive. Here lies Kermit the Frog, or does he? I hope so. I hope Kermit the Frog is not at large again. Oh yes, today at 1 PM at the church we have jamming. Who wants to do some jamming? And goosing at 11 AM on Sunday. Inside, there isn't an inside, because again, interior, But I did reuse the Halloween invite as just a little notice here that some village folk has pinned up there. It's me, I'm the village folk, hi. Aha, the trousers of Jam's base are displayed proudly here. You may remember these from the base swap I did with Shotgun if you've seen that. Basically, these are the keys of my base. Whoever has the trousers of Jam's base owns Jam's base, essentially. So there's nothing stopping anyone from plucking these out of an item frame and then owning my base, I realise. Here lies Jam, 3,139 times. That needs editing, actually. There we go. And that's the churchyard. Finally, here we have a wheat field. I know, right? What an exciting finale. A wheat field. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. That was a tour of Jammingham, my beautiful base. I've probably made my ego twice my height with this, but honestly, I feel like I need it just this once. Just for one episode. I'm going to let my ego get a bit big, because this truly does represent what I've managed to accomplish in this wonderful season of Unorthoblocks. There's one more episode, of course, and some bonus guest week content if I can find time to edit it. All in all, though, I will see you next episode in the grand finale. The true send-off to Unorthoblocks Season 3. Try not to get sentimental, Jam. I'm gonna miss this season. I'll miss Jammingham too, but here's to a fantastic Season 4. Toodle pip!